So hi everyone, today we will be discussing about HTML forms. Okay, so HTML forms we usually see on the website on sign up page or sign in page, or where when you are creating a account profile, they will ask for your personal information like first name, last name, email ID, phone number, or some of the government websites where you will find you need to put your Aadhaar number, PAN card. So all this, whenever we require a user, end user required to fill some information, whether it is personal information, whether it is educational information, okay. So in those cases, we use forms, okay. So these forms we created using HTML forms element, okay. So this is the form element, okay. So this is a container, okay, for all the different type of input elements. So what is input elements? So if I go to any website, so when I see on the sign in page, okay, it is asking for me email or mobile number. So this is input element, okay. So here end user need to input its information. It need to put or give its information. So this is input element. This button is again an input element where user need to take action. Okay. So these are parts of input element. Okay. So these form elements are the container for different types of input elements. So there can be like text field. Okay, right now this is text field. Okay, there can be checkbox buttons, radio buttons, or submit button. Okay, so we will see these HTML forms in action. So I will create one file. So first we need to create one form. So that form will be like, if I say, so this is the format or this is the structure we will try to follow. Okay, this is the end result which we are targeting. Okay, so I will go ahead. First is the container for the form, okay, where we will have different kinds of input element, that is text field, radio buttons, drop down or select option, and submit button. So first is the input element, okay. Now I want input element of type text field, okay. I want text field, so user can enter some text like first name, last name. So this is text field. We are going to put numeric details, okay. So I will put use attribute type, okay, and here I will put text. Now I need to identify this input element uniquely, so you will use ID. So I will put like first name as a ID. Then name is like what at variable you want to put, okay. Means it will be like whenever you are going to send this data, send this form data to the server, okay. When you are going to send this data to the server, so it will be passed as a key value pair. What do you mean by that? That it will be passed as key equal to value. So key will be that name field, and value will be whatever we put here. So it is like uh, first name, okay. So key will be like this, first name, and if I put my name Akshay here, so it will be like this. So whatever data I will put in form, if I submit it, it will pass to the server, okay. Means any other place, whatever place I want to pass it, so it will be passed as a key value pair. So I want key as a first name, so that's why I'm giving name also as a first name, okay. And then we'll use like this. Then again I want another text field for last name. Same thing, we will use ID, and then it is for last name, okay. So I will use ID equal to last name, so we can identify this input element is for last name. And name, because I want that key should be given as a last name in the form data. Whatever form data we will put, that it should have key like last name. Okay, so let's see first we are able to see these two input elements or not. Okay, so yes, we have two input fields. Okay, as these are the inline level elements, so because of that, it takes place on the same line. Okay, it takes place on the same line. If I create one more input element of text field, it will take space on the same line. So if you want it to be placed on the different lines, okay, what we can do, we can apply a break element. Okay, we know about it, right? Break element will push the next HTML element on the next line. It will push the next element on the next line. So see, it uh, came on the or placed on the second line. Fine. Then what we want to do here now? Okay, so we have radio buttons. So first we will create some skeleton, okay, and then refine that form, okay, over the journey, okay. So first I will create radio buttons. So same thing we need to use input type, and then you will get option like radio, ID equal to, we can put like gender male, okay, and name equal to gender, okay. And here we need to provide a value, because if you see, I am giving value as a male and female. So actually this is label, but if I select something, when I select a radio button, what value should be passed when I submit the form? Okay, what value should be passed when I submit the form? This value will be passed, okay, because this is something like hard written data. Okay, we don't want user to put this data. Okay, we want the specified details like male and female. These are the two defined options we have, so we want to send those options only, male or female. Okay, so I want to send this data whenever user click on this radio button. I want to send this data whenever user click on this radio button. Okay, I will copy, and here I will put female. Okay, name I want gender only, because I want this value should be passed on as gender equal to male or female. Okay, like this I want to pass this data to server or some other place. Whatever I will put the action, whatever action I will define, that we will you will understand whenever when we go to end of the form. Okay, so this is done. Now what is remaining? So now the uh, drop down is remaining. Okay, what drop down we need to use? So here we will require another option, that is select element. Okay, select element to create the drop down. Okay, here again we will require ID. So here I will put subject, then name to subject, or we can put like branch, it is better. Now inside this select element, we need to provide the options. So whenever we talk about drop down has multiple option, and user can select one option or multiple option out of the given options. Okay, so we need to provide option, and out of that provided option, user will select one or multiple options. Okay, so for that we need to use option element, provide like computer engineering, and again we need to define value also here, that what value we need to pass down. Okay, we need to pass when we submit the form, what value we need to pass when we submit the form. So I will put like CMPN. So short form for computer engineering. Okay. Then we will have electronics. Okay. For that I will use ETRX. Then we have electronics and telecommunication. So for that we will put EXPC, and then instrumentation. Okay, like this. So whenever if user click on this instrumentation engineering, value will be passed as INST. Okay, or if user click on computer engineering, then value will be passed as CMPN. Okay, then what is remaining now? Button element is remaining. So what you can do, you can use the default button element. Okay, or else you can use the input element also. We need to use input element with type equal to submit. Okay, so this will create a button for us. So let's see. Okay, so this one has created two radio buttons, then drop down for us, and the button as a submit button. Okay, but now it doesn't look good. We need to refine it. Why? Because there is no label here. Okay, these are the checkbox radio buttons, but they doesn't have labels. So we need to define how user will understand that this radio button is for male or this radio button is for female. So we need to give label to these input elements. Okay, so first we will give a label to these input elements. So we will go one by one again. Okay, so label and put first name, then below it we will put for last name. Okay, then we have, so first for input elements of text I provided it above. Why? Because I want them above their text field. Okay, labels should be presented above text field like this. You can see the label is given above the text field. Okay, like this I would like to have it. So placement will be like this, but as we know all these are inline elements. For that I need to use break tag. Okay, or else we will have those side by side also. Whatever, we will see the results. Okay, we will first try to create some labels. Okay, then for these radio buttons it is again advisable to have them side by side. Okay, so if we see our result, so it should be beside the this radio button it should show male, beside this radio button it should show female. Okay, so for that I put this label after the radio button. Okay, after the radio button. Okay, and again we will require a label for this select branch. Okay, for this drop down. Fine, but again with this label. Okay, we have provided. Fine, so if we see our result, yes, we can see these labels. Fine. Okay, first name, last name, male, female. The select branch is showing here. We need to correct our structure now. But actually to make it proper, or we need to make sure to under this structuring should understand to browser and the screen reader also. Why for screen readers? So if user, a visually impaired person, click on this input text or click on this radio button, the screen reader will call out, okay, what is this input element is. Okay, what is this input element? If I click on it, it will call out first name, it will call out last name, like this. So we need to bind this label with the input elements, And again, browser will understand also this label is for this input element. This label last name is for this input element. So how we can bind them? Using attribute for, okay, label for, and then unique ID. Unique ID is this one, first name, for, then last name. Okay, so we have binded this text element with the label using for attribute. Same thing we will do with the other labels. So for this radio button, we will use ID as a gender male, and for the second one, we will use gender female, and here we will use branch. Okay, so fine, this is done. So we have binded the input element also. Now we will just make it a little bit good. Okay, so what I will do, I will use break element after the text element last name. Okay, after the text element that is last name, I will put break element. Fine. Okay, this comes on the next line. Now we want this also on the next line. So after this label, I will use break element. Okay, so it came down the select branch also. Now I want this submit button on the next line. So after this drop down, I will put break element here. Okay, so now everything looks perfect, means at least a good. Okay, now we will require CSS to make it proper margin, proper spacing in between. Okay, we need, if you want to use proper spacing, color, all those things, then we will require CSS. So that's not a part of this thing. We will discuss about it later. Okay, right now this is fine. Okay, so this, till this point we have done with the things. Like here I will put Akshay, other details. Okay, then select the gender, then select the branch, and then submit the data. Okay, but now till now we haven't decided what will happen if I click on submit button. Okay, we haven't decided what will happen after the submit button. For that we have a attribute called action on the form element. Okay, so if I hover on it, it will show the URL of a program that will process the form information. This value can be overridden by form action attribute on a button or input element. So this is again a different attribute that we will discuss, okay, later. But now here it is saying that URL of a program that will process this form information. Okay, so consider we will be having one a script. Okay, it can be server side script, be it PHP language script or any other Java or some place where this information will be processed. Okay, so this script will be available on our server or in our code repository like this. So consider it is available uh, on our machine only. Let me create one folder. Okay, so consider that we will provide this data, okay, all this information to our script. So all this data will be sent to this script, and that script will process that data. So this is not a scope of what will happen in this script. Okay, I'm just showing you we need to pass down the URL. So I am passing the path of the script, or it can be a link also. It can be URL which is available on some different machine, like So these are like fake REST APIs. Okay, so consider it like, see, this is again a URL. So you can send some data to some other server, okay, available on some remote location, and pass down this data to them. So there it will have some scripting language which will process your information. So we have just defined it. Okay, again here there are more option what you can do. Okay, more option like method. Okay, so we have method like get and post, which is more important for me right now. Get and post, these are the HTTPS methods like this. So what get means? So get is like you can send request for a data and it will provide some data. Okay, so if it is a non-secure data, you can use get method. Okay, if it is a non-secure data, then you can use get. If it is a secure information, right now it is like first name, last name, gender and branch. But if you are asking for password, if you are asking for Aadhaar or some secure information, personal information, then it should be post method. Why? If we use post method, then it will not be visible to the anyone, means other person. It will be go into request body. That data will be going into request body. Okay, 1 second, you will not understand that way. I will just put as a get. Okay, here I put method as get. I will put my details. So see here, one request has been gone. Okay, whenever you open a network tab, if you open a network tab, whatever the network calls are created through your web page, okay, for data, for getting the data like fetch data or sending data to another location, all those network calls you will see on the network tab of the inspect element. How I open the inspect element? You can right click and click on inspect, or yeah, control shift I. So using Control Shift I, it will open the inspect element. Inside inspect element, there are different options for you, like elements, console. We will discuss about it. Okay. Right now, just understand that in network tab, you will see all the network calls done by the browser for fetching the data or sending the data to another server. Like that only, if you see here, there is one call has been happened. Okay, if I click on submit button, a call is went to the form processing PHP file. Okay, and if you see the link, see, this is the link available on my server machine 127.015,500 slash scripts form processing.php. So this is the path of my script file, scripts scripts, and inside that form processing.php, and this is the IP and the at port number where my code is running. Okay, IP address plus port number, and then after that you can see all the information which I have written. Let me just, so as you can see all the information, like see, key value pair, first name Akshay, then it is concatenated by an ampersand sign. Okay, concatenated by ampersand sign, and last name equal to Mane, and gender equal to male, and branch equal to ETRX. Like this data is sent. So this actually, this URL, okay, can be accessible by anyone. Means this URL we can't encrypt, okay, over the network, over the transfer actually. So when I'm sending this data to the server from my machine, I can't encrypt it. But this payload means a request body. So these are the query string parameters. Okay, we will discuss about it later, what is query string parameters. Okay, they are sent over as a link. Okay, they are concatenated in the link, these query string parameters. But request body, they can't be accessible over transfer. Okay, you can't access those request body over body, okay, on the transfer. So I will just show you what will happen if I put post. So refresh has happened. If I click on submit, so see, this is normal link, okay? IP address, port number, and the path of the PHP, that is scripting file, and the data is went inside the payload, that is request body. So no one can access this request body whenever the data is in transportation from one machine, from my machine to another server location. When it is transferring, no one can access this data. So that's why whenever you are dealing with secure data like password or any other number or any personal thing which can identify a person, okay, so this data must be gone inside the request body. So at that time you will use method as a post, or else you will use get. So we were discussing about the differences between get call and post call. Okay. So again there are more differences in get call and post call also. Get call is mostly used when you want to fetch some data in most of the cases, and post call is used when you want send some information over the network call to the server location or to the server, to the database. Okay. So on the post call, this data is sent through request body. Okay. Then this part is done. So now this is the main, what we can say, major part of our form element. Okay, this is the major part of the form element. Now it will have some many minor things. Okay, like if I say, so now whenever I refresh it, okay, this screen is visible. But if I put some attribute like this one, autofocus, okay, I put this autofocus attribute on the input element of first name. So if you see, as soon as it refresh, it is in focus, okay. Already the cursor is available in the first name element, okay. Previously it wasn't, okay. I will remove it again. So see, nothing is in focus, and if I click on it, then only it will go in focus and cursor will show up. So if you want to what we can guide the user, okay, if you want to guide the user, you can put autofocus on some one field, okay, so it will be focused on the page load itself, and directly user can put details, okay, because cursor is available and focus, so they can directly try and put their details. If you see on the Amazon page, okay, let's see. If I click on sign in, so see, it is again autofocus. Already the input element is focus and cursor is available. So these are some minor attributes which we need to use. Autofocus we need to provide. Then on form element we can provide like autocomplete. So if you are using some data continuously, okay, so it will give you those autocomplete options, okay. So it can give you option for the again and again, okay, whatever you will put, suggestions will be available to you. Okay, so see, as soon as I put those details, it directly open on it. Then So there are different types of input element, so we'll just show you those input types. Okay, so button, there can we can create a button using this input element. Checkbox like it is like, if I show you, okay, like this it will have option. So see, these are the checkboxes where we can have multiple selection. We can use it for multiple selection. Okay, even this select, okay, select element, right now we are able to select only one option. If I put attribute like multiple, we can select multiple options. This boolean indicate multiple option can be selected list. If it is not there, then only one option can be. When multiple is there, most browser will show scrolling list box instead of single line drop down. Okay, so okay, yeah, so see, I need to use control select to select it multiple. Okay, so these are the multi select option. Again, I will remove it. So it is, even I'm pressing control and select, still I'm not able to select the multiple. But if I put multiple, I will be able to select multiple options with control select. Okay, I'm pressing the control button on my keyboard. Then okay, want to put some comments suggestion, so we can use text area. So it will be like text area. We need to provide how much width and height we want to provide to this text area. So it will be like column 30 and rows 30. So we need to provide the width for this text area. Okay, then other things are as it is. Suggestions, name, which will be provided in the data as a key value pair, so it will be as a key. Okay, so this is the text area, so we can provide our suggestion, so it becomes very long. I will just put 10, make it 40, and we'll use br break tag, so we can, it will be submit button will be available on next. So this is multiple line text area, this is single line text area, this is multi-line text area. Okay, so with text area, you need to define column. Column means length or width, and row means height. Okay, so it is like, it will consider this is 40 pixel column width. Okay, and height 10 rows, like this. You need to understand it. 40 columns and 10 rows. Okay, width and height. Columns means width, rows means height, and even you can change its width also. Okay, change the dimension for the text area. What we can do, we will group all the elements. Okay, first we will group all the elements, so I will put field set, put all these group elements inside the field set, save it. So see, you can see the border. Okay, but this is only border. Okay, if you want to give some label, okay, with this bordering, you can provide legend. Okay, you need to provide legend here, like form, input form. So see, with this bordering, we have provided the heading also, and all these elements are what we can say group here. So it looks what we can say good on the screen. So this is better. Again, it's again a choice of developer if they want to go with the field set or not. So we will use input type file. Okay, ID user photo, name also user photo. Okay, and we need to provide label, upload photo, and then bind this label with the input element, that is user photo. So see, you will see upload photo. Let us just put the break element. So now you can see upload photo label, choose file option as a button. If I click on it, it will show my file explorer. It will open my file explorer, through which file explorer I can select my file. And here it is saying till now no files are selected. Okay, so if I click on it, it opens the file explorer. I can select any one image and click on open. So this file is selected and uploaded. Okay, so this is file option. Then next we will see input type equal to password. Same thing again, we will put ID, put label, enter password, bind them. So enter password, you can see I will put again. So if I put some password here, see, it is showing it is not showing that password details, it is showing those bullet points. If I click on this option, it will show this whatever keywords I put. If I again click on this option, it will show those bullet points. So this is again good option for using whenever you want user to put password. You can use this input type equal to password. Okay, while here whenever whatever you put, this data is visible like this. We have covered important input types. Okay, then value field is where if you want you can put initial value, or if you want to provide default value, like here for checkbox we provide default value, this value where it will be selected by user, and this value I want to pass it. I don't want user to put some data here, I want to pass the fixed value. So again, like this value mail, this value I want to pass it. Okay, if I want to put some random name, so like mostly people use like Joe and Joe. Okay, so it will be shown here and I need to remove them and put my name. So if I want to put default value, okay, but it is not advisable in case of text element. Don't use initial value in case of text element. Okay, in the case of text element, go for placeholder, enter first name, placeholder. So it will loop to you as a enter first name, enter last name, but as soon as user click on it, it will be vanished. Okay, and user can directly put their name. So see, it is showing that placeholder enter first name, enter last name. As soon as I start typing, it is gone. As soon as I start writing, it is gone. So it is a placeholder thing. Okay, so if you are requesting uh, this student information from user for today, okay, and it's a deadline, so you don't want user to change this data, and if you want, it should show to the user, but they can't able to write it. They can read only. Okay, they can read only. In that case, you will use this attribute read only. 0603 and we'll provide this attribute read only. So in this case, this value is visible to me, but I and what we can do, we can copy this data, we can see it properly. Okay, it's just like it feels like I can change this value, but we can't change it. It is in read only mode. Okay, user can see this data, but they can't change it. Okay, so if you want fixed value, which you don't want user to have control over it, but at least they can see it. In that case, you can put attribute as a read only. Okay, and this value will be passed on to once you click on submit. Okay, if you click on submit, this read only value will be passed. Okay, but if you use disable, so this option is gray out. You can see even I can't click on it properly. It is not looking like this active option. It is totally disabled. Okay, so in this case, even if I click on submit, this data will not be passed. Okay, so if you want to pass the data and even don't want user to change it, use read only. Okay, if you want to pass this data, once user click on submit, but if you don't want to pass this data, then you can use disable. So even if you know you are not going to pass this data, it is better that we can just directly remove this. Okay, or sometimes it is useful also, this disable attribute. uh, it can be different scenario where we can see if some user doesn't put the first name and last name, till that point you can put this some other input elements as a in disable state. So first they should put these details, and then only these other input elements can be active, they can become active. So in those scenario you can use this field as a disable. Okay, so this is the difference between read only and disable and their purpose. Okay, disable when you don't want user to use it any, means they should not be able to write anything there, and even they submit on it, that data will not be sent. Okay, but if you put read only, they can see that data but can't change it, but that data will be passed when user click on submit full upload. Let's try to put multiple upload here. So if I put first name as a required field, save it and submit it, it will ask me please fill out this field, because first name is the required field. Else it will not submit. It will every time give me error. Okay, that's it for today's session. Thank you guys.